Yes, and we are live. So it's the 8th of August, 2018, and that's the regular meeting at RFM. It's currently Mike, Ono, and Matt, and we just discussed what could be our current agenda for today. People are working on different issues, like Aditya is working on a separate issue. Matt, you were working on the Ember part. I was working on the Docker part and helping people. And Mike, Joseph, and Mike Jung, you were probably working on 390, right? The email thing.
Yes, but I didn't reach out to Mike again for the week.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. That's actually what I was asking about, if anyone has heard from Zhang, because I would be keen to try going through some of that Rails stuff as well, but I don't know if anyone's heard from him.
Yeah, I've just seen his code review. Sorry, I've just seen his commits, and I gave him a code review, and it looked pretty awesome. And I think I pinged Joseph and I think also you, Mike, in the code review. So you might want to check it out.
Okay.
Again,
I don't know. Does Git send a message if like you tag me in the code review messages?
Well, it does it for me. Maybe it's different for you.
It should send you an email.
It should, unless you configure it not to do so. So, for example, if I go to RFM, pull request, this one here, I guess.
Yeah.
And I go to the latest code review. Then this is like the summary of the code review, and I pinged a couple of people. Yes, so I also pinged you, and then you should get an email for sure.
I think I'll check it out because it did send.
It might also be your personal settings. Oh no, I signed out. No, that wasn't what I was intending. Settings. Does it still work? Oh, okay, I'm still logged in. Yeah, it might be your personal notifications settings. So you receive notification. Those notification settings apply to the things you're watching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just check it out.
Aha, there you go. Notifications for the conversations you're participating in, or if someone cites you with an ad mention. So I did that. Yeah, and you can, if you click on this check field, then you should receive an email when somebody mentions you to this notification email.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can check that, because it was actually like what Mike Jung was doing here was actually pretty interesting. So maybe you can go through the commits, and just to show it to you. So he was apparently translating the subject line. So you can, as you can see, you can use this T method. And this is perfectly translated, by the way. Like I think he used Google Google Translate, and it's like perfect German. Amazing. Like Google Translate has improved a lot.
I think I have ever achieved something of the same with Django.
With Django?
Yeah, I at times do Django with Python. So I did this kind of internationalization where my models would be translated, and I would be able to do that in the admin. Yeah, this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did this with on an application that's using Django?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm still there. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you were trying it. You did the translation on an application that was using Django.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess it's pretty much the same. I don't know how they do it, but message file. Yeah, so this seems like I don't know how it works, but I guess it's working very, very similar.
Yeah. Here there were just a few things I needed to add in the settings files after installing the yeah, and then yeah, he just it generates files for you, and you put your translations there, like he has done right here.
Yeah, exactly. So there are two files in on the back end. Those files are located in config/locales/ and the file name, like de, reflects the locale.
Yeah.
So you have either a local de or en, and then you have a fallback. And he now added de as a fallback locale.
Yeah.
So if the front end or whatever client out there does not does not configure a locale, you would send a locale along with your request. If you don't, then it will just assume de, which makes sense because like the server is located in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, and there you are. These are the translation files referring to the like these keys here. They come from here. Yeah. So, and I was thinking, I think in the code review, you can add variables to the translation files. I'm pretty sure that you can. Okay, I didn't. I think this is the only message I gave him. So I can fix the way of addressing people in Germany, in German and French, and I think Spanish as well. You have formal ways of addressing people, and they are in other languages more common than in others. So in German and French, people are rather polite. They would try to address you more formally, and in Spanish and English, we have the informal way of talking to people, unless you talk to someone, I don't know, like a king or something. I don't know when you would use it. And here in Germany, the formal way is more common. So this is why Google Translate also translates it to the formal way of addressing people. But I will just fix the translations once they are ready. But actually, my point here, didn't I thought I was giving some more input here.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a look. It doesn't seem like there's been anything since last we talked on this, but maybe I'm missing something. There are a few. I guess there are a few commits, but it seems like maybe he was trying to get the test passing because the tests were passing are failing. Sorry, that maybe Zheng was doing. But it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't.
So one test, like there are still some other inputs I would like to ask if you could refactor that. So for example, here we can refactor that, and there's also one missing test case. This one here. What happens if last login is nil? Like as soon as this feature is merged, last login will be nil. And as far as I can tell, it's like a little bit distracting here. Can I just say files changed without the hide white space changes? Okay, I don't think I can hide my input here. Last login. Well then. Yeah. So we set the last login whenever a request is made, but as soon as this feature is deployed, this last login field will be nil by default. So for example, if you say, yeah, I think this calls last login on the user, this will be nil. So what happens if you last login is nil? I would like to have a test case for that, right? So I think that we will get a nil pointer exception. Do you see why?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can add more test cases to that.
Yeah, like this is like would you call that an edge case, or is that?
Well, it's not an edge case at all. I mean, when we have currently 890 users, when you deploy this feature, 890 users will have a last login property which is nil. So I wouldn't say it's an edge case. It's like the case, like the default case, the starting case, and we don't want to run into errors for everybody who's doing the first request, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we didn't cover that. Okay. You can also play around with the translations, because in Ember, at least, I know that you can pass in variables to it. For example, if you want to say there are so and so many new broadcasts since your last login, then this number of new broadcasts, I think you can pass that. Yes, I think you can pass that into translations. Yeah, there you go. So you can just do this, and this price thing will be available as $%. Okay, so this dollar symbol is the currency symbol. Yeah, percentage and then curly braces.
Yep.
All right. You can play around with that if you want. You can even, at least in Ember, you can also pluralize things like strings. I don't know if it's possible for pluralization. Yeah, it seems so. Lookup key. So you have to implement it yourself. But I mean, this will not be necessary. You can just add a number in there. That's just fine. Yeah. So this is it for the code review, I would say. And there's I was pairing with Aditya also, and he had a question about how to run binding pry in the Docker container, right? So, do you know binding pry, Matt and Mike Ono?
Yeah, we're just using it.
You know it also, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question here was, if you are in, if you're running Docker Compose up, I hope it's still doing it. Yeah.
We're like I just said before we started the broadcast, we just ran into that problem because Mike he is running the Docker instance of website 1, and so binding pry was just ignored by even when we rebuilt it to reflect the change. And yeah, we were able to enter the Rails console with like Docker Compose run and then the name of the service in Rails console. But yeah, it would be really interesting to see how it works with binding.pry, because that gives you like more information about what the current state is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually pretty easy. So when you say, the problem here is if you say binding pry at some place where it's accessed a lot, if you run into this method, the backend server will stop proceeding. It will open a so-called read evaluate print loop, which is your shell, and it will wait until you hit until you enter exit. Okay. So if I, for example, go to localhost 4200, this will do a request to the front end, which in turn will issue a request to the backend, and then we'll hit this method. All right. So if I just do that.
Yeah. So that's what we did, but it didn't actually. Yeah. It didn't stop on binding.pry.
It's constantly loading, and we can see that there is actually this binding pry thing here in the backend.
Yeah, so that didn't work when we did it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we did something different.
So the problem here is like we cannot enter something, right? It's not evaluated because
No, I mean the problem for us is it didn't stop at all. It just completely ignored it. You could see it.
It was called, but then it just ran over it.
You could see that the change was reflected in the file because it ran into. I mean, maybe we didn't try it in different places. We tried it in just one place, but it was just passing by the binding.pry and going straight to the place where we were getting an error. So
okay, I cannot help you with that. I was thinking you had the problem like you cannot go into this console here.
No, it wasn't. It just wasn't stopping.
Yeah, this is the problem that the DJ had with RFM. So he was saying like, how can I, like, it's not capturing user input. There's actually a very simple solution. As soon as you have fixed your problem with the console, that's not like it's ignored, you will probably run into this issue, and maybe then you can quickly fix that.
Yep.
So you have to, in the Rails service, you have to type in TTY, teletype, and standard input open, true. You have to set those 2 lines. Yep. And then you can attach to a container. So this here is Docker Compose, but Docker also, so the Docker tool itself is running a couple of Docker containers, all right?
Yep.
So we have this one here, this one here, this one here, and so on and so on and so on. So these are the names of the Docker containers themselves.
Yep.
When you run Docker Compose, Docker will internally give these IDs to the containers, and it will also give it some names based on the service name, for example.
Yep.
You can always attach to a Docker, like this is like a summary of all, like a stream of all outputs of all containers, but you want to get into one particular container, all right? So if you would type in something here, it wouldn't be clear where this input should go into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So solution is you say Docker attach, that attaches you to a Docker container. And you can either use a container ID, which we're going to do now, and
the image
suddenly are in here already, right?
Nice.
See that you're already in the Pry console. You can, for example, say hello, and this will be shown here.
Yep.
Okay, there it is.
Yep.
And you get nil as a return value, and you can also stop it from here. This will continue on with the ordinary procedure. Okay, so this will be helpful for you.
Nice.
And there's one easier way of doing it. Oh, now I stopped the backend container. Oh no, oops. Okay, let's run it again. But you don't. Oh, what is that? Yeah. You can also, instead of the Docker container ID, you can use one of those names or labels used here.
Yeah.
So here it's backend 1. So you can also say Docker attach backend 1. Note that this label doesn't have anything to do with Docker Compose up. It's like the Docker label. Oh no. Rundfunk mitbestimmen. Are you kidding me?
Is it not the name of the that one there, the image name?
Might be correct. We'll see.
Yeah.
Damn it! It was working.
Just when you're gonna show it off to your friends, it stops working.
Yeah. Always the same.
So I think what we've learned here is that it's easier to just, oh, you know why it is? I think it's there. Well, no, maybe you tried that already. did you under the names? It's like Rundfunk with a hyphen and then underscore backend _1. Did you see that? Yeah. So you need to do underscore after mitbestimmen _backend _1. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. _1.
But this is a hyphen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Try that.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
So that's
know that.
it was there in the names. If you do Docker PS, then it's under the names. There we go. Where your cursor is, kind of.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't, but let's open another shell. Wrong one. Here, no, stop. Docker PS. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So it's like the name of it. This is the image, this is the container ID, and yeah, here we have the name of it.
And the name of the container, right, in this case?
Yeah. This is what I wanted. So you can attach to it like this.
So you need to add, sorry, you said I didn't see the hierarchy of the, so TTY and the STD in as a service, right?
Yeah, so I posted it into Slack. I cannot run Slack or show you Slack at the moment. But yeah, I also posted the link to the Stack Overflow answer in the Slack.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't the relevant lines. I think if you don't have this one, for example, I guess you will not be able to. You will be able to see the output, but you will not be able to write something into it.
Yeah.
And TTY, I think TTY is responsible for the color. Without TTY, you wouldn't have colored output like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is it. This is my input for today. I will probably. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for the week.
Hey, Faith.
Huh?
Faith is here.
Oh, hi, Faith. Hi.
Hello.
Did you see our like the Docker thing that we were doing, or you just joined?
I just joined.
Just joined. But now she has something to watch on the video.
Yeah, we have it recorded at least this time.
Yes.
I can't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. How is it going for you, Faith? How's it going for you?
Oh, things are fine. Work is crazy.
What's crazy?
Work. I have a lot of work from work. Work is crazy.
Work is crazy?
Work.
Yeah,
Work is.
Yeah. The work is crazy. I know.
Yeah. But I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm not currently working on anything on RFM. So
yeah,
I have nothing to report.
Well, to be honest, Faith, you're still working on the frequently asked questions that we started together that we still haven't finished. Or did you think about that one?
No, not yet. But I'm not actively working on anything right now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We knew what you were.
But I will be available from next week.
Nice.
You will be able from next week on. Yeah, nice. Feel free to learn something. We have currently a lot of different issues that people work on. People are working on 390, which is a rather backend related issue. Matt was like mentioning the front end issue. I was working on Docker, which is maintenance and so on. Aditya is working on something completely else. Which is like he's working in both front end and back end.
Okay.
He's currently in interviews. I think he sent me a message, like he was doing interviews.
Okay.
Yeah. Is everyone happy with the current like procedure? Like last time I think I was suggesting Mike and Joseph to work with Mike Jung. Are you still happy with that? I don't know. Mike, how is it going for you? Did you have any blockers from working on 390, or have there been any questions? I think you also had to as far as I remember, you were learning Ruby, or was it Joseph?
I think both.
Or yeah, well, Mike, what do you have there been any blockers on 390? Maybe he's not here anymore.
Or he doesn't.
Or maybe Matt. Let's start with you then.
I think that for me, like it would be good to have more pair programming because I think like I'm interested in helping close out 390 as well with Jung, but it's been difficult to find time for us to work together, I guess. And when I say more pair programming, I guess like I need to hold myself a little bit accountable for that as well, and to put some events at least weekly on the and I guess I need to see who is available to pair program. Oh, Mike, I think maybe he's having connectivity issues.
Yeah.
So I need to see, like, I'm not sure exactly. It seems like I haven't talked to Miriam this week at all. And Faith is needing to focus on work right now. But as of next week, hopefully we're going to have a chance to pair on that. And I mean, I think on the frequently asked questions page, maybe I just need to forget about pair programming on that and just bang out the rest of it, because I think basically when we paired with you last week, no, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, Robert, we kind of did all the hard work. So it's just a matter of like maybe some styling.
That consumes some time. I mean, styling everything, it looks good, like using the right CS, like we're using this particular CSS framework, semantic UI, and I mean, you have to go through the docs, find something nice that looks like I would suggest not to write CSS yourself. So use a component that they offer, and you still have to go through the document and take some time. It's not, like
definitely.
It's also some
So I need to. I mean, I'm just. I guess I'm getting. I'm just getting used to getting myself organized with. With just everything that's going on. Like Faith and I've been pairing this week as well on some stuff like Ruby and Rails stuff that that she needs to know for work. So I guess like so the frequent asked questions page is one feature that I started. I mean, I guess now it's been more than 2 months, I guess, that we've been working on that. So that's definitely in the back of my head. And also there's the on website one, there's that big feature that we started with the projects index page that like those are kind of ones I'm wanting to get PRs through. Anyways,
let me give you a suggestion, maybe, if you want. So you don't want to do any pairing on like the FAQ thing. You would like to do a pairing on 390.
I mean, I would like. I mean, to be honest, I would like to pair on anything. You know, like even at the meetings. Like I mean, I had a few weeks ago, I was trying to organize the FAQ page pairings to be either directly before or directly after the RFM meetings, so that like maybe even directly before, so that we could come to the meeting with some sort of feedback. But then I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. That I haven't been doing that. So maybe I'm going to try to get back to that. But or even at the meetings, you know, like because I think sometimes at the meetings, maybe we don't. There's like maybe we could spend half the time doing some sort of active working on something. But that I don't know. Just a suggestion. And I guess with Zhang, I don't like, since he was the one that started it, I don't know where, like, I want to respect people's boundaries as far as like not trying to organize work on things that they started on, and maybe have an interest in finishing on. They just haven't done it yet. So
I would say collective code ownership. It doesn't, like, the code doesn't belong to one person in particular. I wanted to suggest that we too, for example, work on 390, send him some commits.
Yep.
That are things like this mail catcher GAM, this new test case setup, one example how to pass in variables into translations. Doing the setting up the chrono thing, like the regular jobs that you can run with Rails.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We could do that, like do some configuration things on 390, and then have something, just sharing knowledge basically, and leaving the actual code work for later.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I think that's something that could potentially, like, I mean, I don't want to speak for Faith, but like, I'm going to, that could potentially could potentially really help out with where Faith's at the moment as well, because I guess Ruby and Ruby on Rails is something that that we've been studying on to make sure that like to deepen both of our knowledge on. So yeah, I mean, if you have some time right now or directly after the meeting, that'd be great.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to have work on that directly after the meeting, but we can, for example, I have a lot of time tomorrow, and on Friday I know that I'm at my brother's home. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow would be good.
Tomorrow sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let me just have a quick look at the because with Sam gone, I've kind of taken it to help out with starting some of the stuff that so let me just have a quick look. Like yeah, I'm good tomorrow as well. Yeah.
Great. You teach
together like this.
NG, yeah, 188 at Gmail. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool. I need to start using this. Robert, this is the second meeting in a row you've inspired me to maybe start using a calendar.
Yeah, so
I can't survive without a calendar.
You can't live without one. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I'm really impressed with Faith as well. Has shown me like where I think like when I first met you, Faith, you had like you had showed me like you know exactly how many hours per day that you are actually coding.
Yeah.
It's really amazing and inspirational. I think I'm thinking of doing that because it can maybe help me. Like sometimes my wife feels like that the only thing I do is coding, and then maybe if I had some like actual facts, like look, you know, I was only in my editor for 6 hours today, not 14 like you think I was.
So when do you have time? Like
I have time all day tomorrow. I'm really.
So I that to UTC, like GMT 0. I have time starting at 10 my time.
Just use your time because my calendar like will automatically give me my local time. So
I guess maybe I'm the one that would have the most constraints as far as like the time in the morning that we want to start, because I'm 6 hours behind you guys. Yeah. So like normally the first thing I do is start off with the scrum at 11 a.m. UTC, but I mean I could potentially wake up a little bit earlier. But I mean I don't know if that's something we could meet at the scrum and then just go directly after the scrum. But
so you want to do it after or before the scrum?
I mean I would prefer after, that way, but if it's not good for everyone else, then
11:30 or 12.
Yeah,
12
can be.
So this will be for like 2 p.m. my time. It should be okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Sorry, I was just thinking that It's not on the schedule, but I do need to reach out to people and see about whether we're gonna do the Rails 5 TDD mob tomorrow that we had Tuesday but wasn't run, and that would start at 12.
Yeah, it seems as I have never sent you an invite. Matt, can you give me your mail address as well?
Yeah, it's mattwr18 at gmail.com. Yeah.
Like this?
Yep.
Good. 12 o'clock GMT.
Could we make it 1? Sorry, just before you send it out, not to be a pain. or we could do it before as well.
As you wish.
Just so I can. I know that there's a new premium mob trialist that was talking about maybe doing the Rails 5 TDD mob. So yeah.
Is it the person you posted in the channel?
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that she does Python, so she might not.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I could be wrong, but Sam said that she's interested. I haven't talked to her personally,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah. Anyways,
so shall we do this then, like 1 p.m.?
Yeah, that's great for me.
Is it cool? Faith, good for you?
2 hours. 1 hour, 2 hours.
This is would be 1 hour.
Okay, no problem.
One more?
I wanted more. I wanted even 4, 5.
Yeah, 4 hours. Can we schedule you for like a 4-hour premium?
Like I want as much to like
Yeah,
get as much as I can.
of course. Then we'll pair for 2 hours. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
There you go.
Yay!
Yes, pair programming. Shall I create an event on Agile Ventures or?
Nope. On this,
I mean,
I was at.
what will you be working on?
you mean an event here? Yeah, why not?
That way, I know maybe Mike had to drop off early, but he might be. I find that in my opinion, I think that like today, for example, like I just in the Scrum talked to Mike about like, hey, I'm gonna have this idea that there's on Waffle there's 3 issues that are labeled as beginner friendly, and I feel like I could just grab those and go starting to work on those on my own, and that's definitely tempting. But since we're all in this like study group on the weekend where we're trying to study Ruby and we have actual projects that are open source that we can be contributing to, why don't we just like try to meet during the week and work on those, you know? And then I just went and created an event, and I think like, I mean, I can't speak for Mike, but I think that there wasn't any difference in his time yesterday or the day before or last week on Wednesday. I think it was just a matter of someone saying, hey, here's an event and here's the video and stop by if you can. That actually is the reason why we're working on an issue there. And I feel like that maybe will be the same for RFM as well. Like people like when there's pair programming events available.
That's
of course.
It's actually
that's a great one for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how I joined RFM. Like I knew about RFM because I was I'm awake and there's a meeting going on.
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
Cool.
And it's true.
Yeah, that's something I really like about RFM as well, is that it, like rain or shine, we have meetings every week, and that, you know, can remind us, hey, okay, I do have issue that I want to be working on, or I have someone available that I can ask questions about, that even lets you sneak in questions about other projects or that have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely fair. Yeah, of course.
Thank you for that.
I mean, we're using technologies that are used in other projects as well. So I mean, and that's the benefit of it. Learning for becoming a developer means like you could apply your knowledge from place A on place B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about cloning these open source projects as well, is like if I'm working on something, I can just go there to RFM's code base and be like, well, how's it done here, you know?
Yeah, not everything is probably a good example, but I had tried to make code that is yeah, that you could copy without worries.
One thing I noticed today in that I was we were looking at on website one that I was wondering, I know Faith is a big fan of, do you have anything particularly that you can tell us about porro? Robert?
About what?
Sorry, my accent. Porro.
Porro.
Poro. P-O-R-O.
Yes.
Plain old Ruby object.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I have anything to say about that, like,
yeah, I mean, do you have any examples in RFM code base that we could look at and try to understand like a real life way that we use them?
yeah, I think there have been just ordinary model files that are not an active record. So,
I mean, Faith, can you like do you think that you could explain to us what porro is, and then we can look at an example?
yeah,
Since
of course.
Faith?
Plain old Ruby code. So these are code that do not inherit from that don't inherit from anywhere. So they're on its own.
Yep.
Yeah, basically, that's it. Like it's an object, and they inherit from something. Have you heard about the Ruby
Anything.
object inheritance? Like that's a fun thing. I don't know if I have shown you this one before, but
I don't think so. No.
What?
like the class and object hierarchy.
Ah, nice. We were looking at this the other day, weren't we, Faith?
I see so many things here.
The object, this one here.
Oh yeah, this I remember.
We were looking at meta classes and stuff. Remember?
Open image, new tab.
I mean, yesterday I think we were kind of both. I'm like 6 hours before Faith, so I don't know how she was still awake, but my eyes were starting to glaze over reading tutorial after tutorial of stuff that's, I think, quite complicated. Like maybe it's just because, yeah, I'm new to it all, but.
How can I open the image? Like it should be 476 to 300 pixels. This is just I can't find the image here.
Yeah, that's weird.
Google has changed the lookup of images somehow.
And if you right click on it, yeah.
No.
No, that just visits the tutorial.
No. New tab, and that will give me this really small preview.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but I mean,
so
you
if I've just double clicked on it and I'm able to go to this page.
Yeah, it might be just that image.
Let me send it. Let me send it on the chat because I can see it like really well.
Oh, nice.
I don't know, but it's the same Ruby learning page. Okay,
yeah,
it's not expanding. It's not. You can see it.
Yeah,
but
it's this. I
I
think
think
it's
if
the
you
right
open
picture. Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so this one here is just an example, and it has class inheritance, the class hierarchy, which is written in red, and the object hierarchy, which is blue. So everything here, objects of these. Whoa. Okay, don't let me make mistakes here. So everything in Ruby is an object, even classes. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
And objects are like the classes are objects of class. Does that make sense?
objects.
Not at all, right?
Yes.
It does? Okay, so this took me quite a while to get
You've
figured
said
that out.
object is an object of a class.
Yeah, so you have to
Class.
read this image, like the red stuff here. Like this is like ordinary class hierarchy. You have you can have, I don't know, an integer, for example, which is a subclass. Like an integer object is instance of class integer. Class integer is a subclass of numeric, which is a subclass of object, which is a subclass of basic object.
Sure.
All these classes themselves are objects which are an instance of the class. And you can verify that, for example, if you open up the interactive Ruby console. So if you can say for class, it's an integer. And when you say integer, it gives you class.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you say super, how do you get superclass? I think it's superclass, right?
Yeah.
And you can call that many times
Until you get to basic object.
and then this superclass of nil. This will give me nil. No, I think this will raise an error. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet you can have like the object inheritance, which is going like the blue lines here. Like everything is basically an object of class.
Yep.
Even nil.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That nil was a class.
Like not nil, like this value here, or like this object. It's not a class. It's an object, but it's an object of class nil class.
Okay.
A nil class is of course an object of the class.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this I'm glad that you got that straight, because for me it was very confusing to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, I only know that, I guess, because of playing around in Pry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have an object of some kind of class, and you go, for example, what happens if you go into the models user class and you have some method here like location? Yeah. So this one here is defined on an instance of class user. And if you type in location, no, C backend, then Rails C. Oh, okay.
You've made some updates to the.
Seems so.
Well, not you. I should say your Dependabot.
Yeah, Dependabot. I like Dependabot. Okay, so
What's that?
Dependabot is a service which updates our dependencies. So
Automate everything.
yeah, it's just auto updating us and sends in pull requests. I don't know how many hundreds of pull requests we already had. Like there are more pull requests to merge. So Dependabot opened a pull request and told us, hey, there's a new version of Ember CLI inject live reload.
Yeah.
I can say all checks have passed. Okay, why not?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
And sometimes I think about if anything can go wrong, but this one here is like, I have no idea. This should be fine.
I had a developer tell me at an English Hack Night we had 2 weeks ago, I think, that Dependabot's not good, but then we didn't really get a chance to talk about why. But
yeah, so what was the argument?
yeah, I mean I'll have
They
to
didn't get the chance.
I'll have to check back with you guys on that.
Really like Dependabot.
Also, by the way, Robert, when we were in a AV community meeting together, and we were looking at the website one and noticed that there was like 350 issues, and you said that could potentially turn people off of wanting to work on a project. And I went there and was having a look, and most of the issues are coming from Airbrake. So Airbrake, if there's any problems in production, they open up an issue automatically for you. So yeah, just to provide some context.
I don't think that having a lot of pull requests puts people off. Having a lot of issues.
Issues.
Yeah. No, issues. There are a lot of issues, yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of issues, but fortunately, we have an end-user application. So, I mean, people would dislike this repo if it would be a library, for example, that they want to reuse in some other application. This one is an end-user application, so I don't think it will be a big deal.
Yeah.
So now we have a user model, U, and I can say locale. And there's a very particular way of figuring out what's the definition of a locale. So first it will go into the model itself. If it cannot find a method there, I think it will go recall hierarchy. It will go up the,
The active record.
Call lookup. So it's something very interesting to understand, like in which order. Yeah, so here are the rules how for example a method is looked up. So there are more rules than just going up the class hierarchy. This is because this is why I wanted to like throw that information in. If we already talk about class hierarchy and stuff, you can also check that out. Why not? I'll put that into the Hangouts window.
Slack.
I cannot open Slack for some reason. So when I say Slack on my machine, it gives me this strange error here. This happened like since today or since yesterday. I don't know what happened, but yeah. Maybe I just reboot my computer and it will be there. Maybe you can just post it, copy that link and post it for me on Slack.
I've done it, yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and plain Ruby objects. Here we have an inherent, like user is inheriting from active record base. And this is how user gets all these method like, for example, first comes from active record.
Ah, nice.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
so without it, it wouldn't work.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Wow.
What have you just done without active record?
So remove this line here.
Okay.
Save it.
Okay.
Reload.
Okay.
This will reload the classes in your console. You have to do it because the console is not. It doesn't reload the code like for requests, like the server. It's reloading the code in the development environment, but the console doesn't. So you have to type in reload, bang. So now I have added it again, and there it is. Okay.
Has many. Is that an active record thing?
Yes, now it is again. So this one is again an active record class. Like it's inheriting from active record base.
Okay.
You're asking about the association.
Yeah, the association.
Yeah, this now is a plain Ruby object. It doesn't work anymore. I still can make the users. Maybe not. Undefined enum. Yeah. So here we go. Like if it's it doesn't know what's enum. Enum apparently also comes from active record base.
Okay.
And this is evaluated during. Enum is evaluated when the interpreter reads in the file, I think. This here is actually a method call. It's not like when the interpreter reads the entire file, it's going to the it's calling these methods, and it's defining these methods, define other methods on this class itself. I don't know why this doesn't happen when I say reload. Ah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
this makes sense. Okay, I can just say user and it crashes. Yes. Yeah, so these methods are evaluated at runtime and when the interpreter reads the file 9 by 9 and registers all the methods and so on. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Yep.
So do we have other real-world examples of a plain old Ruby object? I don't think so. Yes, this one here, class graph.
Oh.
There we go.
It's inside the similarity graph.
Yeah, so this one is just a wrapper for having links and nodes, and it's just storing those, and that's it. There's no magic with that one. Who wrote that code? Domenico. Okay.
Yeah, G blame.
Who wrote it?
Is that an alias you set up, or is that actually?
No, it's
I know git blame.
yeah, Vim fugitive. It's a pretty amazing Git wrapper. And it has a couple of things like I can also say, and I hardly ever use it, git status. And then I can, for example, I don't know, stage things or unstage it again. It's actually pretty handy, but for some reason I'm always using the command line. And it has more with that, and it also has a nice it even has a screencast, which I really like.
Nice.
I even like the music.
Really?
The fugitive plugin has a Git
Blah, blah, blah,
wrapper
blah,
for
blah.
Vim.
Okay. Yeah. If you want, I can also share it with you. Who's using Vim?
I use Vim just for my Git commit messages.
Yeah, I'm using it all the time.
When I grow up, I want to use it all the time.
Hmm?
When I grow up, I would like to use it all the time.
Yeah, it's not that hard as you think. Like you have to get used of these modes, like the insert mode, the command mode, and the insert command visual mode.
Right.
Yeah, and normal mode, of course. And as soon as you get used to it, it's pretty okay. And you should map caps lock to control. So you can say caps lock and C, which brings you back to normal mode. And then you're good to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried VS Code, but then I got annoyed that it didn't have some of the, like I have some stuff set up in Atom that makes doing like ERB syntax quite easy. And then I just got annoyed and went back to Atom. And I like that I can like easily search like through files and with like Control P, and yeah, I don't know.
Excuse me, sorry.
But Faith is always talking about what she wants to do when she grows up. But I don't know. Like I think I think I'm definitely older. But then I haven't like started writing blog posts and doing video blogs and things like that. So you know, I think when I grow up, I wanna.
I haven't done that either. I don't even have my personal website. I do have a domain where I was intending to use this domain as my personal website, but I still haven't added some content to it.
Yeah, I created a portfolio on Jackal, but then I stopped maintaining it, and then like when I actually need to send it for like to apply for a job, I'm there like trying to update it and put new projects that I'm working on there and all this kind of stuff, and it ends up taking too long. And yeah.
Well, then.
Sorry. Yeah, we should probably wrap up.
No,
I I was just gonna say that I don't know if anyone's interested, but I saw on the jobs feed today a Ruby developer job that's a remote job that it has a 3-month contract and pays between 4,500 and 5,400 euros per month based on your experience.
45?
Yeah,
No.
between 45 and 54.
45 euros.
For what?
No, 4,500. 4,500.
4,500 euros. And
Yeah.
for 3 months?
Yeah.
So that's
Quite
per
good.
month.
Yeah, it's per month. No, it's per month for 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, and
Like
it's only 3 months. It's only 3 months of contract.
Yeah, which is kind of nice, I guess, because I mean, if you like to be, you know, if you like to be flexible and not work on something for too long, there's an option to extend, I guess, but it's only a 3-month contract remote, which, yeah, I mean, that's like 15,000 euros for 3 months of work.
Or yeah, I would say it's pretty basic. It's okay for 3 months only, and if you want to extend, you should definitely negotiate better terms. But yeah, for 3 months, why not? Doesn't sound too bad.
I mean, that's kind of, I don't know what's Faith's
the currency-
situation, but that's
is it-
kind of
What?
like,
Is the currency in euros?
yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the company from? Which area? Like which country?
It's for a company called. It's in the UK, so it needs Pure Point is the name of the company. I mean, that's kind of money that I just dream about, you know. But yeah, one day.
Apply.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, why not?
They can still say no. It's all right.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. The worst thing that could happen is they say no, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Just
Stop.
apply.
Super
Everyone
cool.
is in need.
Okay.
Good point.
Is that it? Pure point. It's in the chat.
Let me see. I hadn't actually gone to the thing. Yeah, it's on the remoteok.io, but I think so. Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
What do they do?
Yeah.
I don't get what they do from their website.
Our tech stack is Ruby, Rails, JavaScript, Postgres, and Heroku.
What's the product?
Let me see.
I don't get it. I don't know what they do.
Well, it involves working on an application used by tens of thousands of customers every day.
Wow.
Where is
Who knows what it is? But it's used
Yeah.
by 10,000 of people.
It's a little secretive, but like, yeah, I mean, they want 5+ years of Ruby experience, you know. So like, yeah, I mean, I could send my resume to them, but you know,
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, just send it in, and maybe if they're looking for a senior, maybe they want to hire you anyways, and you're going to have some like interviews, and then you can negotiate all the terms. Why
yeah, I can negotiate with him and be like, you know, instead of 4,500, what about 450?
That's interesting.
Anyways.
In case, I don't know if you have the time, but maybe you could, if you have the time, you could explain. I've posted something in the chat. I'm interested to know. Yeah, because I was reading through stuff and I'm not sure I could understand like clearly. An overview of security and scalability in Ruby products.
An overview
Like,
of
they're two different things. Yeah, like security, vulnerabilities, and how Rails.
That's a long
Okay.
discussion, of course. So
okay.
the first thing, it's okay. So I'll give you one advice, one very practical tip. Just
Okay.
use Brakeman. Okay, I'm going to another room for a second. Yep. Or is it okay if I stay outside here? All right, so I can stay here. Fair enough. But yeah, we're using this tool and Brakeman. It's a static analysis tool, and it can tell you about security vulnerabilities.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, no, I am not. Thank you.
No, you're not. Okay, you're not.
What is it?
Okay. Brickman.
So it's just an ordinary GAM. You can use it in development environment, which makes sense because you don't want this static code analysis tool in development. And then you just say Brakeman. And you can even put it into your build server, and you can even use it in your build server pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to demonstrate it. So I can say, for example, say bundle exec, Brakeman, and it would tell me about some security vulnerabilities.
Oh, Mike joined and then left again.
Hmm.
He had a blackout, so.
Oh, yeah, and we have that issue in Kenya.
There we go. So there are 0 errors. But there's one ignored warning, for example. There's one warning I'm aware of, which I don't think is a security vulnerability.
Yep.
So it's just checking. It's again particular for Rails. So everything, the whole knowledge here, like the whole reasoning, it only applies to Rails.
Okay.
So can it use it for Django, for example? What is the ignored warning here? The ignored warning is actually, I don't know, but we see it. Oh, Mike is there. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. No worries.
Rubocop? No. Crap. Great. Ah, there it is. It's in config. Brakeman. There you go. So apparently there's one ignored warning in app model similarity RB. App models similarity RB. Online 29. So no, this is gonna be 91. No way. Okay, maybe it is. I think because of. So I'm pretty sure that the problem is here. So a very, very common security issue is a so-called SQL injection. Just remember that word, SQL injection. Okay, what does it mean?
Oh yeah, because
SQL injection means that you have some kind of SQL connection and you're running SQL statements against your database, and you have some kind of, for example, you allow user input. Okay, so I don't know. For example, you want to sort by something, or you want to search for something, right? And then you would, for example, add in a parameter and then order by it, or use a regular expression or whatever. Okay. It could look like this. Like you have some string interpolation and in some strings here. All right. See it?
Yeah.
Now you can see it better. So this one here is just an SQL string, and we then just execute that SQL. Like it's plain SQL here. And since we are executing plain SQL, Brakeman tells us about a possible security issue.
So is it because you've not escaped it?
Yeah, it is because I haven't escaped it. Probably I can add more escape sequences to it, but since there's this one here is not it's not user input. Okay, so there's nothing bad.
Okay, So you should only be concerned when it's a user, like you're expecting some input, user input.
Yeah, we could probably escape it and make it a little bit more secure, but here it is just what is similarity? Similarities is an empty array. It's also coming from the database itself. So not too terrible. But yeah, see,
Looks like
is one example.
Okay.
It looks like something we can use, Mike. Insert into. We were just looking at that earlier.
Oh no, I haven't focused on my screen while sharing my screen. Okay, too bad. Now you'll not be able to see it on the recording. Okay, so I'll show it once more. So this is my editor here. It was about this line, and we execute this SQL at this line, and it's not escaped. So this could be a security vulnerability, but I don't think it is. Yeah, right here. But it's good to have some kind of tooling set up, and we even have it in our build server here. Break, man. There you go. So if this fails, the build will stop. Okay.
Okay.
And it will fail. Okay. I have to answer a question by someone who's sitting right next to me.
Ich begebe mich jetzt in die Kiste. Da läuft mein Rechner, der Laptop.
Ja.
Und da lade ich gerade einen Film runter auf die Mediathek.
Ja.
Das dauert ungefähr eine halbe Stunde.
Ja.
Noch. Wenn du nachher raufgehst oder wie auch immer, machst du bitte meinen Rechner aus.
Ja, sure. Kann ich machen.
Ne? Du brauchst nur da rechts oben das Knöpfchen zu drücken und dann ist gut.
Ja, no problem.
Ich danke Sie. Matjodjung.
Ciao. Okay, that's it. That was my dad. He just instructed me to turn off his laptop when I go upstairs.
Okay.
I understood everything actually, but
yeah,
I was a loose translation, Robert. But we'll let it pass.
And then nice. And the scalability part of Rails, like if you talk about scalability with Rails impression. Yeah.
Scalability means something that works for 4 users will still work for 400,000 users if you have 400 servers or something like that, right? So
okay, so that's horizontal. You're talking about servers.
Yeah, I was talking about scalability. Like scalability is hard. Like you first have to define what scalability means. You can say your code doesn't scale because as soon as the application grows, it's becoming more complex and it's becoming harder to maintain. So, for example, you can say a framework is not scalable because it works for the demo case, but it doesn't work for full-fledged business applications. Or you can say scalability in terms of access, in terms of traffic, for example. If you have high traffic on your machine, then it should scale. Or what else? Like there are many definitions to it.
They talk about that a little bit in the week 2 videos, don't they, Faith? About they give an example of some game that and when they're talking about software as a service and about being able to use to be able to buy as you use, and how they're like sometimes during the year that your site maybe doesn't have a lot of visitors, but then on one day or some particular days they have thousands and thousands and thousands of users, for example. Is that one of the reasons Twitter moved on from Rails is because of scalability issues?
I don't know. I don't know. Absolutely, I have no idea. Maybe just because Ruby as a language is sometimes too slow. Usually, that shouldn't be a big problem for web servers because you can run each request in a different process. So that shouldn't be a big deal. Like Ruby, the language Ruby is an interpreted language, and therefore it will never be, for example, as fast as a compiled language, for example, C, or there are new languages that are also compiled like Go or Rust. I don't know if there are web frameworks for Rust and Go. We could check it out. Other languages like Python, Ruby, JavaScript are all interpreted languages. So they will inherently be slower than compiled languages, for example. If you want to be super fast for some strange reason, you would not use an interpreted language.
Okay, but they're still like this. They're still using Rails. They just replaced some components with Scale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe some components have very strong demands for performance, like speed. So they have replaced those components with something that is really, really super fast, but hard to maintain because of the language, for example. And then the rest, which is not as critical, they can still use Rails.
Yep. I went to a talk at the developers conference about Go and using it for the BBB voting, you know, Big Brother Brazil. Yeah.
You can also use, for example, in Ruby, you can use other interpreters. So the standard Ruby interpreter is written with C, like this is MRA, MATS.
MRI, right?
MRI, yeah, sorry, MRI.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day in No Faith. There's mRuby and JRuby and
yeah, mRuby refers to MATS, the inventor of Ruby. Like this is the original reference implementation. But you can have another interpreter which is also processing your language code. Like when you write a text in Ruby, that's just a text, and you say Ruby and execute a file, like Ruby and then a file name. And it doesn't matter which Ruby interpreter you use. You can use Ruby, like MATS Ruby implementation, or you can use JRuby, which is an interpreter based on the Java virtual machine. Or you can use Rubinius, which is also written in C++, I think, but supposed to be a little bit faster than standard Ruby, but doesn't have the whole features of it. Yeah, there's a lot. And JRuby, for example, is supposed to have a slower startup time, but faster in execution. So if you have, for example, a long-running application, you could run it with JRuby and hope that it's in the end, it's becoming more performant.
Also, like we were reading a little bit like on how mRuby is good because it's like a lightweight interpreter and can be used for things like a Raspberry Pi, for example. Maybe you would favor that over using MRI, but I'm not sure.
Which one? What's the lightweight?
mRuby.
mRuby. What is mRuby?
I thought you said it's MATS Ruby.
Is that MATS Ruby? Yeah, not my Ruby.
mRuby is something else. mRuby is a lightweight Ruby implementation.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you were playing. You had I feel like a few months ago you were playing around with a Raspberry Pi as a backup when you're traveling or something like that. So maybe that will.
Raspberry Pi is already pretty, like, it's a full-fledged computer. It's you can run a lot on a Raspberry. You can just run just ordinary Ruby on a Raspberry. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
All right, so it has been 1 hour and a half. Shall we get to an end?
Yep, because we don't want to scare people with long videos.
Yeah, I'm notorious for that for some reason. I don't know why.
You are, yeah.
Like I talk a lot or something. And it's really weird. I was looking at all my videos, like just like a quick pairing session on something. It was like 2 hours. Like, oh.
Yeah, we have
this time fault. Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna have a 2-hour session. And again, that was Faith that asked for it, not me.
It's all right. Okay. Well then, I will hit the stop broadcast button unless there are any questions from your side.
Oh.
I mean,
Looking
Faith,
forward to
Faith has a
this.
whole,
I
she has a
have.
whole, like a whole list of questions. I could share my screen and pull up the list of questions that she has. It's but maybe we'll get to some of them tomorrow.
Yeah, true. Because if you share your screen, then this video will turn into a 4-hour thing.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So then I'll stop the broadcast then.
Yeah.